WWE SummerSlam 2021 was a good pay-per-view. It wasn't perfect by any stretch of imagination. A lot of hype was obviously dampened by CM Punk's return to pro wrestling. That said, SummerSlam had plenty of hits and misses. In fact, some parts of the show were downright awful. What did you think of the pay-per-view? Did the company do a good job with this stacked card? Or should they have done things a little differently? Do let us know in the comments. Meanwhile, here's our list of the best and worst from SummerSlam 2021. Number 3 Best and Worst. Becky Lynch returns at WWE SummerSlam 2021, but there's a major issue. Everything about Becky Lynch's return was perfect. Insider Andrew Zarian even went on to say that it wasn't a response to CM Punk joining AEW. The crowd screamed its lungs out when the man showed up to a party, and Carmella's swerve was pretty cool too. But the way that Bianca Belair, a superstar whom WWE has put time and effort into, lost, was a poor choice. Remember how strong she looked in the go-home show before the pay-per-view where she defeated not one but two opponents. Sure, Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair is the route the company will take after WWE SummerSlam 2021, but who after that? If defeating Belair is this easy, is there anyone else on the WWE SmackDown roster, barring Sasha Banks, that can match up to the SmackDown Women's Champion? Would you call this move a best or a worst? We couldn't decide, so we stuck it into the best and worst section. Number 2, Best. The veterans at WWE SummerSlam 2021 prove they still got it. The seasoned performers at WWE SummerSlam 2021 proved why they're still at the top of their game. Edge had one of the best matches of his career against Seth Rollins. A-list movie star John Cena had a competitive match against Roman Reigns. What could you even say about Randy Orton, who has been at the top of his game for so long? Each of these veterans gave the audience their full money's worth. It will be intriguing to see the big surprises Riddle has in store for Orton on Raw after WWE SummerSlam 2021. Number 2, Worst. Why bring in celebrities who don't know the product? Getting celebrities to WWE SummerSlam 2021 may have seemed like a grand idea on paper, but they made major botches. Actor and host Mario Lopez termed WWE as WWF. Actress and author Tiffany Haddish called the United States Championship the National Championship. Doesn't the fact that they got the name of your prestigious title wrong cause more harm than good? Vince McMahon couldn't have been too happy about these botches that could have been avoided in the first place. Number 1, Best. A beast returned to close WWE SummerSlam 2021. Before we round off this WWE SummerSlam 2021 review, can we have a round of applause for Pat McAfee? This man took us on a roller coaster ride throughout the show, building every single moment, especially the one we'll highlight here. Brock Lesnar returned for the first time since WrestleMania 36. It looks like there's a huge showdown in the works with Roman Reigns. Neither man is a clear babyface, which should make things very interesting indeed. Besides, what role will Paul Heyman play in this rivalry? Number 1, Worst. 2 segments compete for the position of Worst WWE Moment of the Year 2021. Bobby Lashley vs. Goldberg for the WWE Championship at WWE SummerSlam 2021 could have been booked in a million different ways. But the way that the match played out, and how Gage was added to the scene was sloppy. Just as bad were Xavier Woods' awful Scott Hall impression and the segment with John Morrison and The Miz. Hey WWE, bring back the intense Miz who cut the talking smack promo once again please. Becky Lynch has broken her silence after her surprise return and a dominant win over Bianca Belair at WWE SummerSlam 2021. At the biggest party of the summer, Bianca Belair was scheduled to defend her SmackDown Women's title against Sasha Banks. The boss was removed from the match heading into the show, with Carmella being announced as her replacement. To the surprise of fans, Becky Lynch's music hit, and the man made her return to WWE. Lynch made quick work of Carmella and challenged Belair to a match. Becky Lynch defeated Belair quickly to win the SmackDown Women's title, a result that has left many fans divided. Here's what Becky Lynch had to say following her big win at SummerSlam. "I'm back," said Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch's legendary Raw Women's title run ended last year when she had to vacate the belt due to her pregnancy. Lynch handed over her title to Asuka, who had won the 2020 Women's Money in the Bank briefcase at the namesake event. Lynch went on a hiatus, and no one had any idea about the man's possible return to WWE TV. She had the following to say shortly after she went on a break. "I feel like I've achieved nearly everything I could achieve in wrestling. I think there's nothing more important than family. And I'm so excited to experience that and to have this other person that is half me and half the love of my life that I get to show love," said Becky. Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins went on to have their first child named Rue on December 4, 2020. During her time away from wrestling, Lynch trolled fans by hinting at a possible return. She finally made her long-awaited return to WWE tonight, and the reaction is mixed at best. Many fans were unhappy with Becky Lynch squashing someone of the caliber of Bianca Belair in a matter of seconds. What do you think? Share your immediate reaction to Becky Lynch's return and SmackDown Women's title win. Fans are still reeling from the impact of CM Punk's return, but AEW has no plans to stop the spree of high-profile signings, as Bray Wyatt could also be on his way into the company. During a recent Wrestling Observer Radio episode, Dave Meltzer revealed that Bray Wyatt is widely expected to join All Elite Wrestling once the star's non-compete clause ends. While Bray Wyatt has not signed an official deal with AEW as of this video production, Meltzer noted that the former WWE champion is at the same stage where Aleister Black was shortly before the Dutch star's official All Elite Wrestling debut. It should be noted that there is no confirmation of Bray Wyatt being AEW bound, but the expectation backstage was termed to be pretty strong. Here's what Meltzer reported about Bray Wyatt's status. It's not 100%. His non-compete's not up, but it's most likely happening. It's at the same stage when I said Aleister Black long before it's happened. It's at the same stage. It's an expectation that's pretty strong, put it that way, revealed Dave Meltzer. Bray Wyatt was released from his WWE contract on July 31st, and fans were naturally stunned to see the immensely talented former world champion depart the company, where he spent 12 memorable years. Wyatt has changed his name on social media to Wyndham, and it seems like he is getting ready for a potentially eventful post-WWE run. The former Wyatt family leader also updated his display picture to what looked like a new Fiend mask. Additionally, Bray tweeted out a quote from American musician Eddie Van Halen and cryptically hinted towards what lies ahead for him following the expiration of WWE's non-compete clause. As you may have seen already, CM Punk's return to wrestling has well and truly broken the internet. While it would be incredibly tough to top Punk's debut, Bray Wyatt possibly becoming an all-elite wrestling star in a few months would massively boost the company's fast-rising momentum. With Daniel Bryan also set to join AEW's ranks, 2021 is turning out to be a statement year for Tony Khan and his team. What are your thoughts on the latest Bray Wyatt update? How would you like to see him debut in AEW if the deal goes through? The Beast incarnate, Brock Lesnar, is back. WWE SummerSlam 2021 ended with an absolute shocker as the former world champion made his long-awaited return to WWE after over 16 months. The main event of SummerSlam saw Roman Reigns successfully defend his Universal Championship against John Cena. Just when everyone thought the pay-per-view had ended, Lesnar's iconic theme song hit as the Beast incarnate walked out, sporting his new look. He went on to confront Roman Reigns, who sensibly retreated. As hinted by Andrew Zarian of the Mat Men Pro Wrestling podcast, Brock Lesnar's SummerSlam return was WWE's answer to CM Punk's AEW Rampage debut the previous night. The pro wrestling world has been talking about Punk's all-elite status, and Lesnar returning tonight to confront Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman was a pretty good counter from WWE for all that hype. Ever since Roman Reigns turned heel last year and joined forces with Paul Heyman, fans have wanted to see Brock Lesnar return and confront the two. Heyman has famously been Lesnar's advocate for most of his WWE career, which makes the current situation quite intriguing. The look of disbelief on Roman Reigns, and most importantly, Paul Heyman's face upon Lesnar's return, was amazing. The biggest question now is who will Paul Heyman choose, the Tribal Chief or the Beast incarnate? Reigns and Brock Lesnar are longtime rivals and have faced each other on several occasions, including 2 WrestleMania main events. However, things are completely different this time as Roman Reigns is the heel, and from the looks of it, Lesnar is the babyface. Fans will surely be looking forward to the fallout of all this drama on the upcoming episode of Friday Night SmackDown. Leave your thoughts regarding Brock Lesnar's grand return in the comments section below.